What is up, lads? Connor here, and I will be starting this new manager mode series with Brighton. And you're probably wondering why I'm on the NextGenFifa channel. I'm doing this in order to grow my channel, and I just want to say a huge thank you to 3088 Shane for letting me upload to the channel. We're just going to jump right in here to the new series. As you can see, that I'm playing on world class, 6 minutes half length, just everything as it was really. And yeah, we go into name our manager. I decided to call him Tommy Hatcher. If anyone gets that reference, you are just you're a pretty cool guy. Not gonna lie. I mean, I think most football fans should if they've seen. I think it's Green Street or Football Factory. Sorry, I'm pretty sure it's Green Street there. But yes, I think I chose Brighton because I wanted to choose a club that aren't terrible but aren't necessarily regarded as a good club in the Championship, and I'm just trying to take them on to bigger things, which you know, hopefully I can do. I mean, they're expecting me to achieve a high finish in the league and reach the round of 16 of the FA Cup, which I think I'll be able to do relatively easily. As you can see, I just jumped straight in, and I have this sort of philosophy that if you're 30 or over, you don't really have a lot of value to my squad aside from maybe Wayne Bridge. I was looking to sell Kuszczak, but I thought he's the best keeper I've got, so I better keep him for the moment until I can sign somebody else. But I do go about listing up a few players. I looked at Kyle Smith because he looks like he's getting on a bit, but I looked, and he's quite a brilliant player in real life, so I thought I'd just keep going. But though I decided to put all the people that look like they're getting on a bit or look like they probably won't play for the squad up for transfer or loan, just in order to sort of free up some space really, because there are going to be some signings later on in this episode that I want to make, because I think the squad is good, but it definitely could do with some improvement. Here you see me approaching Crystal Palace to try and sign Wilfred Zaha, and I do make quite a reasonable offer. I feel £3 million, and I think it's Vicente that I offer them as well. I thought that was a fairly decent offer, but they didn't agree with me, as you will see later on in the episode. But you know, no bother. We do find someone, if not just as good, maybe better. But here, this goalkeeper, I thought he looked really good. You know, 21. 71 rated, and he had some really cool stats on him, and I just thought, why not offer the £1 million for him, because he looks like, you know, he just looks like he could be a real prospect, you know, and he looked like he could be a great goalkeeper for our club. Here I go, because they did reject my offer for Wilfred Zaha. I decided maybe I could loan him and then buy him for £6 million at the end of the season. Season. I do accept this offer, but you'll see later on in the episode, I think it's a counter offer. Yeah, I do counter offer them, but they do not feel he's worth his actual value, which I find quite ridiculous. But yeah, as you can see there, Wilfred Zaha will not be joining us anytime soon, possibly in January if I can muster up the money. But we do decide to sign Raynet, and his contract did cost me a fair amount, and it gave me some trouble later on in the episode, as you'll see, trying to sign a player that I was originally not going to sign, but I thought as I couldn't get Wilfred Zaha, he was one of the only men that, and here he is, he was one of the only men for me, you know, Maicon Liete, 5-star skills, absolute like pace demon, and just overall actually a really good player, you know, a good prospect for the club. 1.7 million is what we offered, and I do believe it was accepted. Not before Reyna accepted his contract to join the club. And you know, he was now part of the squad. I did put him in straight away, but Maicon Liete, as you can see there, his contract did give me some trouble because I didn't have the money to pay him. So I decided to give him the most extravagant contract I could. But you'll see that it doesn't prove to be enough for him, and I do actually go in and manage to loan out a player, which gets us the wage budget to sign Maicon Liete, because you know, I felt like I needed him. I felt like he was a player that I definitely needed to put in my squad, since we didn't have a right winger that was I thought capable of towing the line for the club. To be quite honest with you, I felt like all the ones I had, like there was this one guy, I think his name was Will Barnes or Will Burley or something like that, and he was good. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt like, you know, I had better players at my disposal. And here you see, I'm just going in, looking at some of the free agents, because you know, you can find some pretty good deals, and I go to the younger ones, and this guy, Pedro Azog, looks like quite a prospect. So we do go in and actually try and sign this guy. I mean, he's 62 rated at 17. I think he'll only go up, to be honest with you. And I I put him in as a sporadic first team player because I feel like he will be really good in the future, and I feel like I will play him at some point. And you know, he's not going to turn that down. He's a free agent. He needs somewhere to play, so I suppose Brighton's a pretty good opportunity for him. Here we go though, guys. The moment you've probably all been waiting for. It is a Capital One Cup game against Notts County. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a pretty entertaining game to play in. As you can see there, the squads are lining up. I think I showed you the lineup I used. Yeah, I did just then. Obviously, two players making their debut, Reina and Maicon Liete. You know, this is a big game. This is the first game of the season. This is my chance to impress the Brighton board. But well, we'll see how it goes, won't we? Like, I feel like I can accomplish good things with Brighton. I feel like I'm aiming for the Championship title and probably about. I think I'm going to go on a FA Cup run. I think I'm going to try and get to the final. But Wayne Bridge here does actually get sent off for a fairly innocuous challenge. Didn't feel like it was a red myself. I feel like maybe the penalty was there. It looked like he won the ball, but looking back at it there, it looks like probably was a warranted penalty. But as you'll see, Hughes steps up and absolutely fizzes it against the bar, and he just, you know, that put his team on the back foot for a brief moment. But here we go. More defensive errors from just Greer and Bridge, and nobody was marking up, nobody was tackling in, and as you can see, great save first time, but it does end up in the net from Labadie, and it was 1-0 Notts County, and it was very, very annoying at this point. But Maicon Liete there, rising like a salmon, you don't see that from the, I think he's 5'6", you don't see that from the man. And then a lovely celebration to go with it from Maicon Liete, a cracking little player that he is. But you know, we managed to hold out for as long as we could until they finally put it in the net at 60 minutes. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I think I've got the highlights right, but we were all over these guys. We were all over this game in general, to be quite honest. And as you can see here, I make a triple attacking substitution. It needed to be done. And how close do we get there? What a save from the Notts County goalie. I didn't want to let it go, you know. I really wanted to try and, like, I was doing everything I could to get a chance, and then nothing would go in. Like, everything, it was getting blocked or saved. They just had bodies in front of the ball, and after a while, you know, I really got quite annoyed actually. And there you go. That's the final whistle. We're coming to the end of the video. Please like, subscribe to NextGenFifa, subscribe to me, and I'll check in with you guys for the next episode soon.